Hi guys, welcome to the world's most relaxed comic book review show. We've got 3 comics from Border City, and we'd like to thank Terracotta Pizza for letting us shoot here. And now, on to the first one.
Hilarious, man.
Okay, first up is Amazing Spider-Man 618. George?
I feel like I'm on the spot. It's the guy who got bit by the radioactive spider?
Yeah.
Okay.
This issue.
So, amazing artist. I love this work so much, and I can't go on enough about it. Even just the first few pages says it all, that it's not just the art style, but it's like a systematic of how the crime family fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got like the guy with like just half the head sticking out of the concrete of the construction site. It's got, you know, the horrifying classic things that happen to monsters, and it's the first 2 pages, and it's brilliant. And it almost, the way the art's done, and even the story is well written, that it bleeds you into that Spider-Man world where Silvermane, who's got like a robot body, and what's the other guy's name with the
Hammerhead, yes.
Yeah, like it's just great that it transitions you into. I thought it was really cool, and you get Mysterio back, who is sort of like Batman's Riddler. Like, he sucks.
But now he's cool.
Yeah, like that's just it. Now I'm hoping they don't screw this up, because normally.
So you recommend it?
So far, yeah, I totally would recommend it.
Nice, Michelle.
I would definitely recommend it. I really liked, again, in the very beginning, it was so dark, and I almost forgot that I was actually reading a Spider-Man comic. And I liked how they didn't cheap out on how, like, it wasn't just all about his wisecracks. Like, they were still in there, but the reason why they were funny was because they came at unexpected moments. And it didn't feel like a Disney cartoon. And I liked it. Like, you could take it seriously. And I actually did kind of feel a little at parts, like, especially in the beginning. And
it's
yeah,
creepy.
I would definitely recommend it.
Cool. Good. Dan Slott is a good writer. I do like the Magia, which is Marvel's version of the Mafia, but it's all supervillains, right? Like Hammerhead, etc. I really like that they're bringing back that idea. However, reading the dialogue at the beginning between the gangsters, it felt like anyone who'd seen The Godfather or The Sopranos would be able to write. You should be able to write slightly more realistic dialogue than what was written there. But other than that, I thought the writing was good. The art, I do think he's a great penciler. However, I don't like the inks. I think they're too thin. I like to see. I like. Yeah. I like.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Beastie Boys reference. Thin lines.
The inking. I mean,
Also, well, you know what? And the coloring too. I think the coloring was too muddy and gray. I wish it was like solid bright colors and that old John Romita style inking, because the pencils were great. I agree, but
a lot of people aren't liking this artist, but
he's a good artist. But I just think it could be, the style could change a little bit. But I do recommend it. It is a fairly good comic, and I like seeing what's happening with Spider-Man every once in a while, and it's definitely good enough to pick up. Like, okay, on to the next one.
Alright, next time on Spidey. More mobsters, mysteries, and mayhem, and the most shocking Spidey moment of the year. Yeah, it's January, but figured why not blow our wad early? That is wow, that is classy. Darker, but blow your wad early?
Next up is Incorruptible numbers 1 and 2, a spin-off of Irredeemable, both from Boom Studios. So it's sort of tied into the same universe. Irredeemable was what if the world's greatest superhero became a supervillain, and this is what if the world's worst supervillain became a superhero. Written by my pal Mark Waid, meaning I like his comic books. I don't actually know him. He's sort of hit and miss.
Okay.
This the first series has been very critically acclaimed. This is like now the spin-off. I do think it's good, maybe not quite as good, but if you can imagine Batman as a supervillain with sort of like a Batcave-ish and a Batmobile type thing, and a kid partner, instead of being named Robin, she's named Jailbait. Yeah. She's like, I don't know how old she's supposed to be, 16 or whatever. Basically, we find out that in this story, he's suddenly become a hero, no one knows why, and it kind of explores what would happen if such a person decided to become a hero, and I like it. Apparently, other people in this room didn't like it.
Boo.
I thought it was okay. I'm sort of on the fence, to be honest, about whether I'm going to keep reading it. Maybe I'll give it a few more issues. Some of the writing was a little bit awkward. Some of it was trying a little bit too hard.
Yeah.
And the art was pretty good. It was decent, just like the other one, the Irredeemable, or Yeah, Irredeemable, same thing. Art was sort of average.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little bit on the fence. What about you, Michelle?
I liked it. I hadn't read the Irredeemable before,
yeah.
so at first I had to ask you, I was like, what is this referring to? And then of course, at first I thought it was a bit cheese because it had sort of like the typical gangsters and where's the boss and whatever, but it redeemed itself because I really like this idea of this guy who everybody fears, who is this huge supervillain, and all of a sudden he wants to be a superhero. And then on the flip side, you have this superhero who's like Superman, just all of a sudden going berserk and just killing everybody. And now there's this mass hysteria and this mass like apocalyptic sort of feeling. And then there's this new storyline coming into it by issue 2 where there's this guy who's saying he has the solution and he can turn people into superheroes, but it's not working and it's actually killing people. And I liked it, but it took a little bit. And then even the jailbait character, at first I was like, really? But then I don't know, I thought it was kind of cute.
And she's written like a young teenager.
She's written like a young teenager who's been able to go off and do her own thing and been able to steal from everybody and been able to have a whole bunch of fun. And now all of a sudden her boss and / lover doesn't want to sleep with her because she's jailbait and also doesn't want to do any of this stuff. So I thought there was a really, really funny part where he goes in to save a whole bunch of people and there's this big dramatic event and eventually he looks in a room and she turns around and she's wearing all of the victims like jewelry and stuff and she's just like, what? And like I liked that. I thought that was really
So
funny.
you recommend it?
I do recommend it.
All right. On to the next one. Okay, last comic of the day, Joe the Barbarian. Michelle.
I really enjoyed this comic. I thought that the art was beautiful. It's all really, really thin lines. We only picked it up for $1 and I was shocked because in opening it, I mean, it's not all about the dialogue because there's a balance between both and the multiple perspectives and everything. There's cute little references to DC characters in it and just the slow pace and you know, kids and adults could both really, really like it and relate to it. And I really, 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 really enjoyed this comic. And it has a cool cliffhanger for the first issue that draws you in. But you're also, by that point, you've empathized with the character that you care enough, and I would definitely recommend it.
George.
So alone. It was awesome. The art was great. It was really, really good. It was almost, what did I say before? Chris Bacalo?
Yes.
Chris Bacalo, yeah. It had that feel to it in that not old, but sort of like the teenage years of Vertigo had when it got into, was it Invincible? Not Invincible. No, what are Grant Morrison's earlier ones?
Invisible.
Yeah, it has more of that feel to it, right? Like the fisheye lens to some of the scenes says 4 pages with no dialogue and just mood setting and taking your time to get to the story and it was great.
Yeah, I want to start. This art is the best I've seen in a long time. I've never even heard of this guy, Sean Murphy, but incredibly detailed, like you said, really thin inks, and also incredible perspective, anatomy, dark and light.
Yeah.
And there's one great shot where he's sitting on the bus. That's probably the best panel in the whole book. He's just sitting on the bus and all the shadows coming in. Like, this guy is unbelievable.
The expressions of body language.
Yeah, exactly. This guy is, I don't know where he's come out of nowhere and he's incredible. Story, it was great. There isn't a lot of dialogue, so there isn't a lot of information, but you do get a great establishment, they do establish Joe's sort of background. They hint a little bit at it with a little bit of dialogue, but the thing is this sort of twist ending is just so great, especially for a superhero fan and an 80s cartoon guy like me. We can't give anything away, but great ending, and of course, I mean, I'm in because it's Grant Morrison, #1, and I love him, and it's fairy tale, and I just can't wait to see what happens next, so I'm in. And you can pick it up for $1. Okay, that wraps up another episode. We'd like to thank Terracotta for letting us shoot here. We'd like to thank Border City Comics for providing us with these comics.
Can I borrow this, man?
Well, just be careful, it's mine.
It's the first one, right?
Yeah. Actually, pick us up for $1. Anyway, next week we're going to be reviewing more comics, so please feel free to join us. Thanks.
Thanks, so I'm going to take this with me. I'll get back to you tomorrow, right?
Okay, just be really careful.